This is We Have a Problem podcast. I'm Charles Hall, and this is my best friend, Diamond Hall. This podcast was designed, it was built to talk through leadership conversations and problem solving, life aspects, building for the betterment. If you could, if you would, hit like, hit subscribe, and to that end, and with your permission, let's begin and let's build.
Have you ever been in a meeting and it's your turn to speak? You got a killer idea, but your heart starts pounding, your words get stuck, your hands are clammy, and the moment just passes. For your whole career, you've seen that social awkwardness as a crippling weakness. You've watched the charismatic, smooth talking leader get the promotion and the praise, and you felt like you've been playing a game that's entirely different, one that you're destined to lose. But what if that's completely wrong? What if that feeling that you've been trying to hide your entire life, that cringing, uncomfortable awkwardness, isn't a bug in your system? What if it's a feature? What if that awkwardness is the secret to being the leader your team is desperate for? Listen, our culture has sold us a very specific popular image of leadership. It's confident, it's magnetic, it's the person who commands a room with a charming smile. But focusing only on this one style of leadership is like admiring a beautiful tree for its vibrant leaves while ignoring the complex root system that gives it strength. In a world craving honesty, authenticity is becoming just as valued as charisma. This is where you, the awkward leader, comes in. And just to be clear, when I say awkward, I'm talking a whole range of feelings. Whether you feel like you identify as an introvert, you have a touch of social anxiety, or you deeply dislike large crowds. The very things you've been told are your weaknesses, they can become your greatest strengths. That discomfort that you have with the spotlight, the inability to fake enthusiasm, the tendency to listen more than you talk. These aren't flaws. They are like the gnarled, unseen roots of a giant oak tree. They may not be pretty, but they are the source of true stability and strength. And today we're not going to fix your awkwardness. We're going to reframe it. We'll uncover the three unspoken superpowers it's giving you and show you how to use them to become the quietly powerful leader your team has been waiting for. So, this is a really important conversation because for most of my life, I've actually dealt with social anxiety. And you find yourself in those spaces, conference rooms, public meetings where you want to contribute to the conversation, but you don't know how to articulate it in the moment. You wondering or second guessing yourself how you sound. Your hands are sweaty, and it seems like there's an ease for others to show up in the moment. And sometimes you can get looked over or you're underestimated because you don't know how to fully be yourself. You feel awkward. So what I've come to find and embrace is that if you're an introvert, you're a deeper observer. You take note and study everyone's personality in the room, what they're good at, what the room may need.
Yeah.
Um, you're not as quick to be vocal with your ideas. And so I kind of learned over time that observation is really a superpower. So the cool thing is studies actually show that if you're an introverted person, that you take a deeper observation of the room and sometimes you can be more effective in an environment because you've noticed the different intricacies that the room might need or the environment, the task,
I love it.
you know, what's lacking in the team? How can you contribute to the team? What do we need to take away? Because you've observed in a deeper way that, maybe the extroverted person who's, more outlandish or flamboyant and has the charisma haven't had a chance to look at.
So are you saying that someone who's more reclusive can embrace their awkwardness and then enhance the room based on their observation?
Absolutely.
I really like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Introverts usually are like deeper thinkers. What look like is you like studying, you like reading, books in your quiet time because you recharge when you're by yourself. And so when you're getting all that information in, you're looking for ways to voice it, you just don't know how. And so when you're in those environments where you feel awkward, you have all of this, knowledge and skill inside of you. You just don't know how to express it the way others do.
I love this because you can't spell the word observe without serve. So if I'm coming into a space or a setting and I'm reading the room, I'm calculated, strategic with the study that I brought to the room, with the solution that I brought to the room, with the solace that I brought to the room, with the situational awareness that I brought to the
Yeah,
room. And now I can serve the room because my weapon is my silence. The Bible says even a fool seems wise when he's silent.
absolutely.
So while people are talking, I'm studying. When the book is closed, I'm still reading. And because of me reading, I'm able to read the room and I'm ready to produce in such a way because I took a season of learning how to be silent. It's not that I don't have anything to say, it's just sometimes it's not time for me to say it.
Yeah.
So I'm an ambivert. I say this from the standpoint or the perspective or the viewpoint or the outlook that I'm both. But over time, I've learned how to flip the switch
Mhm.
based on what the arrangement or the environment needs. So in my development of me understanding my awkwardness or being introverted is not a deficiency, but it's just different.
Okay.
So it's not a deficiency. I'm just different. We're all wired differently. So ways I was able to settle myself in different settings was my body posture. So if I'm in a meeting and I feel uncomfortable, I would literally just cross my legs and put my hand on my leg and do the head shake like,
Absolutely. Yeah.
man, this is great.
Uh,
While I'm processing of where to find the appropriate pocket. It's like I'm like everything is a rhythm. Like I'm trying to find I don't look for balance. I'm looking for a rhythm.
wow.
I don't look for a balance because in life there's a tug of war. It's always going to be a pull at something. So if I'm in a situation or I'm in a setting or a meeting and I'm trying to add solutions
Mhm.
and I'm trying to bring my brilliance, but I'm afraid, I'll do things that are practical that can help just bring ease. Take a deep breath.
Mhm.
I tell myself, Charles, the takeaway is I have something to add. I exhale, cross my legs, put my hands on my, leg
Yeah.
and give it like this deep thought. Or as I'm listening to other people, I'm giving facial expressions because I want them to feel like I hear them. I'm embracing what they're saying. And then I'm in that rhythm, trying to find that pocket to share what I need to say. But in my study, I'm more comfortable with I know I can add solutions to this moment. So I don't share it thinking they're not going to receive it.
Mm.
I share it from a place, this is a really good idea. And if it lands, great. If it doesn't, this still is a really
Really
good
good idea.
idea. And it doesn't mean it's always a good idea,
Yeah.
but I have to go in knowing that I have something to add. The takeaway is I have something to add because you don't get what you want, you get who you are. So if you exude anxiety at the moment you have to speak on the subject,
Mhm.
people are going to feel people are going to feel what you exude.
Absolutely.
So I'm doing practical things. I'm crossing my legs. I'm nodding. I'm leaning in, and I'm rehearsing. Okay, when I say it, Charles, use vocal inflection. Don't be monotone. Like I'm using practical applications so that I can produce in the moment. And over time, with practice
Yeah.
and years of just intentionality, I just cross my legs now because I just want to be comfortable in crossing my legs. I don't have to use that tool to get comfortable anymore because I've practiced to go in between the ambivert mode of introvert,
Yeah.
extrovert, introvert, extrovert.
Were there certain settings that, um, help curate that for you? Like, for example, I remember we would be at social meetings with some friends of ours, and I felt like everyone in the room had something to say or laugh and joke with, and I would be more of the quiet voice in the room. And at the end of the day, I would say, "Babe, I'm the only one who's quiet, and you told me, like, that's okay. Just be you. Be comfortable with being the quiet one. You don't need to feel, that you don't have to feel the need to always have something to say. It's okay to be the quiet one." Are there certain situations that curate those balances or working the muscle of becoming more confident in your awkwardness and seeing it as a superpower? So, like you were saying, with those practices of crossing your legs and nodding your head, making sure that you're present and engaged, and you're not so much thinking about yourself, but you're trying to make the person feel special. So you don't want to practice. Is it like not safe to practice that in the conference room? Like if you're in a staff meeting, you probably want to do that on a one-on-one. You want to read the room on when to practice that. You don't want to just throw it all. Because for an awkward person, it feels like you're so focused on, okay, am I crossing my legs? And it's it could be a bit overwhelming at times. Like those are little mechanics of um you trying to redirect your energy when you're talking because your teeth are chattering or knocking when you're giving a public speech. And so, sometimes I used to do this. I would just tap my thumb on my finger to redirect my energy. Uh, so it's just taking those small pauses in social settings to, do one thing at a time and not feel the need to take it all on at once.
I think what helped me to weed through when I needed to be more intentional and strategic to develop that muscle, being an ambivert, feeling awkward, it's when I felt most uncomfortable. And the nerves were saying, alarms were going off internally, like I'm not comfortable right now. And I would ask myself, why are you not comfortable? Like, what can mere men do to me? Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing?
Yeah.
So I don't think there's a cookie cutter stencil to approach it the same way every time. But for me, if it was if it was me feeling awkward to say something, I would rehearse it. I would rehearse it before I knew I had to say it. So we were previously a part of an organization where we saw 20,000 people on the weekend. And that was my place for practice. We're talking about practice.
It was.
I intentionally greeted. I intentionally, it was not my job to, but I intentionally engaged and interacted and had interactions with individuals. Honestly, I took the lay of the land. I studied what was going on for the weekend. I studied what was coming up so I can have answers.
Okay.
And I would just ask people, how are you? Like, do you need any help? Faces that I haven't seen before. But I was ready to respond based on me knowing everything that was going on within the organization. But at the same time, me feeling uncomfortable, I was forcing myself to adopt a different version that I needed to embrace and enhance so I can become the leader through the lenses I felt like I had to be so that I can help build and build those so that they can build, or so
Absolutely.
I can help build leaders to build.
Yeah.
This has been We Have a Problem podcast. I'm Charles Hall. This is Diamond Hall. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.